Welcome to the Amazing Cities and Towns podcast. I'm Jim Hunt, your host, and today's episode will focus on a very important issue affecting local governments throughout the country. Our guests are Mr. Angelo Consoli, president of the Fraternal Order of Police in Prince George's County, Maryland, Lodge 89, and Colleen Hilton, a licensed therapist and founder and CEO of Alli Connect, a Seattle-based technology company that assists in finding the right therapist for mental health care. One of the challenges, I think, that in terms of police officers and other support staff even, but seeking help, the traditional office where somebody drives up, they park in the parking lot, they go inside, sit in a waiting room. And in police work, and I know, my son has educated me on this very clearly, is that, you go to a restaurant, you see someone that's under investigation for active drug trafficking. You go to a counselor and you see someone there. And then once somebody recognizes Officer Smith as being in those public places. So technology, I think, has the ability of helping with this, but expand on that maybe a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we found even prior to COVID, but it was really researched and validated during COVID, that therapeutic modalities over this type of Zoom environment are just as effective as sitting in a room with that person. I'm going to say the other side of that is what you mentioned, right? There are some risks for first responders to be seen going in and out of a therapy office. And, as we fight to improve the stigma, there's just the simple embarrassment risk of I don't want to go into a waiting room and see another guy from the crew. I'd like to have my privacy around that. But the other side of this, and I'll kind of like harp on this because this is the passion point for me, is that clinical fit, right? If I'm focused on sitting in the room with a therapist, that might limit my options because so many therapists are now working over telehealth, at least part-time, if not full-time. And the most important factor in somebody getting the help they need is really the relationship that they can build with the therapist. So I encourage everyone to be open-minded around using telehealth services, because you may be able to find that perfect therapist who's maybe just outside the geography that you would have otherwise looked and still local, and be able to meet with them in a much more private and convenient way, giving kind of a better holistic experience to mental health treatment.
Is that I think technology has evolved to the point to where it's almost like, the cell phone now and other things. But what's your thoughts on the
Right.
people would be helped by that?
Especially the newer officers, I'd say in the last 10 years, everything's on the phone. So, the technology is a big thing for them. So I think that they want to be able to do the quick fix. And sometimes, it's just like we had said, you need the ability to talk to somebody. And I don't necessarily have to do it in person. So if I can do it, that way as well, and especially with everyone running all over the place nowadays, so it's a lot easier to make an appointment and everyone grab the phone and pull off to the side of the road for a half hour. So I think it's important that we definitely do advance with the technology.